seen Dark Tower?
No, it's not here till the 18th of August.
Is it not?
Nah, I know it's been out in America. It's not getting good reviews.
Yeah, isn't it like a sequel to the trilogy?
It's 7 books, actually.
7 books, whatever. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it's weird. Instead of just doing an adaptation of the series, according to the director, it's actually a sequel to the books. Because I haven't finished reading the books yet. I'm still like on the second book because I read the first book while I was in uni and I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just taken me a while, and I'm like, I need to read the second book now because the first book, I think it's considered the worst in the series, but I actually really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started reading it there, and I'm like the first 100 pages in, I'm already enjoying it again. You know, The character, the gunslinger, he's a great character. So, but from what I've heard about the ending of the entire series, is that because the series is actually about alternate dimensions and traveling through dimensions and all that. So I've heard the ending has something to do with time loops as well.
Yeah.
So the way that the movie is a sequel to the books is that it's part of a time loop, so that the same instances are like occurring again, and the gunslinger is more aware of like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've heard about the movie, is that it's about 95 minutes long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one, even though the first book is the shortest book, I don't think that's enough time to adapt the first book. I've heard that they've like put elements from all 7 books into the movie.
Right. Okay.
To the point where people are accusing it of it's not an adaptation of the first book; it's an adaptation of all the books into a 95-minute movie.
No, that never works.
Nah,
no.
And yeah, just imagine doing that to Harry Potter.
Oh God. No, I mean the thing I heard about, the character of the gunslinger, that he's meant to be white.
Yeah, he's definitely like when you read the description of the character and his personality, you just think it's the man with no name from the Doors trilogy.
Right. Okay.
He's maybe Clint Eastwood, basically. So
right. No, just that's just one thing. I mean, I guess everybody has their own kind of idea of what a character is meant to be from a book, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you imagine him being a black character or a white character or a Chinese character, whatever, but the thing I've heard that the main character is actually a white character.
Yeah, it's I've heard it's actually a major plot point in the books.
Right. Okay.
So making him a black character will take away that plot point, not unless they reverse it so that, you know, they do the same plot point but just change, you know, so it has more to do with him being black rather than being white. I mean, I guess that could work, but from what I've heard, the film never brings that up or anything.
I mean, we'll see if it has a sequel. I don't know how much it's made so far.
I don't think it's been doing well at all.
I mean, I'll most likely go see it in the cinema just to see what it's like. I haven't read the books yet. I really want to read the books. I was actually meant to get the first book from my mate Gary.
Yeah.
But that hasn't. No, I forgot to get that when I was up in Glasgow last time. But I really want to read them. I'm curious about the story.
Yeah, the entire thing about the dimension traveling, all that. Have you read much Stephen King before? Like,
yeah, I've read a lot of Stephen King.
Well, do you ever notice like other like books sometimes get mentioned in certain books and all that?
Yeah, I noticed that quite a bit.
Like in Misery, they mentioned The Shining at one point.
Yeah.
Well, the Dark Tower explains how all these creatures, how the evil in the world maybe exists because they're all from other dimensions and they like travel and all that.
Right. Okay.
Apparently, that explains it as well because like that thing is like basically a Lovecraftian horror creature essentially.
Yeah.
And it's maybe that's the explanation. It's not necessarily from Earth. It might be from another dimension. Just as I say, I've not finished the Dark Tower, so that's just kind of me guessing from what I've heard. So
no, well, I'm pretty sure there's a part in the book. I might be completely all wrong about it, because again, my mate, I bought my mate the book when I was in Droitwich to see my fiance's nan. And I found it in a charity shop for 50p, and I thought that was a fantastic idea, because you can't find It the Clown book anymore. You can't find it anymore. I've never seen it before.
Oh no, it's been put back in print for the movie. So
Right. Well, that's the movie though.
yeah. Well,
But I mean, like the original book, like the original copies that came out.
right. You mean like the first editions and all that, or
Yeah, like I found the first edition in a charity shop.
Oh, that's pretty cool then.
For 50p.
Yeah, it's because I saw it back in publication, but with the poster of the movie in the front cover. So
yeah, so because I know there's a lot in the book that won't make this the screen.
yeah, the book is over 1,000 pages long. It's
Well, that's not really the kind of whole thing, and because who's directing it?
I can't remember the guy's name, but I think it's the guy who directed Mama.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I heard that the guy who created True Detective was originally meant to direct it, but he got let go from it, and so they brought in the guy from Mama, which that's a tire story all to itself. That.
Now let's find out who the director is, because I'm really interested. Because to what I've heard, to rumours what I've heard.
All right, his name is apparently Andy. I'm probably going to butcher this. Micheletti.
Right. Okay.
Apparently, his real name is Andreas, but he goes by Andy or something.
Oh, right, okay. Well, the rumour I've heard is the film that's coming out when it's September 8th, I believe.
Yeah, September 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it's going to be in 2 parts actually.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
This is only part 1.
You know how like the original
the miniseries, yeah.
Yeah, that was like it went from like the kids to the adults.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be like in this film. It's going to be the kids part first.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the adults next.
Yeah, it feels way too much like they're just. I think that's a big problem for me. It just sounds like, from what I've been hearing about it, it feels more like they're remaking the miniseries rather than readapting the book.
No, I think they are. I think they're doing both. Because apparently the director of that film filmed a scene that was directly from the book, and it's like the characters started smoking like weed or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of like messed up stuff that the kids do and all that, even though they're all meant to be like 12 and 13.
And they kind of get this like illusion of how it got to Earth.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not talking about the other scene with the other part in the book that it's just messed up.
Yeah, but I think Stephen King has even admitted he was drunk and high while writing it. So
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of his stuff in the 80s, apparently that's why so much of that stuff has like got, at least one of those books will have really messed up scenes in them.
But I'm really interested in it. To what I've seen, I'm really interested in it.
Yeah, I don't know, I've got mixed feelings on it.
My only problem with it is the trailers. That's my problem with it. As an editor, and I've done trailers for my own films and for your films, but with this one, it's showing far too much of the jump scares.
Yeah, well, at the same time, trailers do like edit stuff to look more jumpy than they'll probably actually be in the film.
Yeah, true.
Though I do look at the film and I think this is going to be a jump scare fest, which annoys me because I tried reading the book years ago, and I just kind of got overwhelmed by it. I was very young at the time. I was like 14 or something. So I'm going to try and reread it again.
Yeah, I think I'll do the exact same.
But from what I remember, like reading of it, the book is very psychological. It's not like, oh, boo, scary clown. You know, it is very like is kind of what's going on really. Because like the kids are the only ones that can actually see this clown. So it's like, is it actually real? Is it all in their heads and all that? Whereas you just look at this, it just looks like, oh no, it's the creepy clown. Oh no, run. Uh,
Well, I mean, there is this whole thing that I'm kind of getting is that, and this is apparently from the book also. Um, no, if you're listening to this and you've read the book, then and you think I'm talking shit, then take it with a pinch of salt because I haven't read it. I've just heard things about it, and I know I should really read it, but just take it with a pinch of salt. But apparently, like the adults of the town that they're in know about it, but they don't want to. It's kind of like Freddy Krueger. It's like they know about him, but they just won't speak of him.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to acknowledge like the dark history of the town.
Yeah,
because it doesn't really affect them when you're.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of way I see it's going to go.
Nah. I just I think it's I will have to definitely see it. I think that's a I think that's a thing, like sometimes you get like a first impression of a movie, you think it's good and it ends up being kind of shit, or you think it's shit and ends up being kind of good. So to me, I have like such mixed feelings in this. It's like I'll just need to see it to actually properly get an idea of it. And I think my biggest problem with it so far is and it probably it is a problem for a lot of people, is the look of Pennywise.
I find him creepy.
Yeah, no, but that's the problem though. I don't think he should look creepy. Because think about it, he's a clown that needs the whole reason it takes the form of a clown is to lure children back to like the sewers so he can eat them. Why would he take on the form of the most terrifying clown ever?
I mean, to be honest,
no kid is going to go near that guy. No kid would go near that.
I mean, to be honest, we've only seen like pictures of him and what he looks like in trailers, and again, as I said, it seems to be a lot more jump scare than actually being able to see him.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen like the the comedic side of him.
True, very true.
So I mean, I'm still open to the idea that he's going to be somewhat like Tim Curry's Pennyworth or Pennywise.
No, but the thing is though, like the original like version of it, Tim Curry is the best part of the entire film. Like,
yeah, but to be honest, Tim Curry's in like Tim Curry's like the best part of whatever film he's in or whatever TV shows he's in. He just kind of like takes center spotlight, suppose.
No, but to me it's like when I watch that film, to me the reason he's scary is because he actually kind of feels like something you wouldn't mind necessarily being around. Yeah. Sometimes, like he actually feels like a nice, jolly clown. Like the bit when he like the bit, probably the most iconic scene, the bit when Georgie is with the paper boat, and Pennywise like appears in the sewer hole and he's smiling at him. It's like you could easily believe that Georgie like trusts this, nice looking clown. It's not till he grabs him that's when he like looks scary. That's when the teeth come out.
Yeah, true.
Whereas the trailer for the new one, the moment Pennywise like head like shows in the sewer, you actually see like Georgie jump back. It's like, yeah, I'd fucking jump back too if I saw that. I mean,
yeah, but the way that's cut, that's the way that's cut, and with the sound effect put on it, it makes you, kind of jump at it. That's just a way it's kind of.
No, but I'm talking about the character jumps though.
No, I know, but I doubt that part's going to be in.
Yeah, well.
I doubt that part's going to be in it because a lot of the stuff that they put in trailers are never in the final cut.
Yeah.
But the problem, as I said, with this, they've shown far too much of the jump scares. That's my kind of big thing.
I'm getting sick of jump scares in horror films. So,
in my opinion, they should have shown a lot less of Pennywise, more of the kids, and how what they go through looking for Pennywise.
Yeah.
And show kind of just flashes of him, not like scary parts, just kind of like, simple little flashes, and don't show too much of him at all. But in my opinion, they showed far too much of him.
Yeah. Do you think like because before even any trailers hit, we got the stills of the guy in the costume? Do you think we should never have seen the guy in the costume? No, it should have been a surprise for the film when we see him.
Yeah, it should have been a surprise for the film.
But the problem is he's the most marketable character though, so
they
kind of have to show him.
I would say show his face a lot. Don't show his body.
Yeah. They showed the face was the first picture they showed, and I thought it looked alright. Just like, alright, that's like his creepy grin or all that, But then they show this full body. I'm just like, right, that's what you're going for. You're going for the whole like absolutely terrifying clown thing, and not like the innocent looking clown.
I mean, that's the thing.
Hey, as you said, for all we know, he will be a bit more humorous because the Tim Curry one is very humorous, and that's kind of what makes him kind of creepy. Is the fact that he seems so innocent and jolly, but then you gotta think, no, wait, this is a guy who like he's not a guy obviously, but like it's luring back children to its lair to eat them and all that. It is messed up.
I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's out in less than a month now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing like the kid's performance. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm really interested in what's the kid's name that's in Stranger Things who's going to be in this. I don't know.
I can't remember.
And that's another thing I'm really looking forward to is Stranger Things season 2. That's another thing that's kind of taken a lot from like old Stephen King films and books. Yeah,
Stranger Things does feel like something that would have been written in the like golden years of King writing. So
yeah, exactly. It really does feel like something like that.
But obviously they didn't. Like Stephen King's biggest problem though is like how he like concludes an arc or a story.
Oh fucking hell!
Because if you've ever read On Writing, he mentions that the way he does endings is that he doesn't think of the ending. He like most people when they write think of the ending as like one of the first things.
Yeah.
So that way it could be like, right, I know my ending, now let's do the beginning and middle so I can like work my way to that. He comes up with the beginning and the middle, and then he savors the ending to the very last minute so he can also surprise himself while he's writing what the ending's going to be, which might be a very terrible way of writing an ending.
True.
Because even when his stories have like good endings, like I think Misery has a pretty good ending. Just because it has like it's quite a satisfying ending. Like the film does the ending better because it's able to pace itself a lot better. Whereas when you read the book, it just feels like he's prattling on. Like, all right, do I stop here or do I stop? And you're just like, can you stop now? And he just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It feels like a guy making up a ending as he goes on, which turns out that's what he was doing.
I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of like that also. Like, I'd rather think about kind of like the hero's beginning and the hero's like journey instead of the hero's end.
Well, that's how we got Mass Effect 3, Andrew. So.
Fuck true. Well, no. The rumor is that they already had all the endings, but apparently it got leaked. So they went, oh, what can we do?
Nah.
So yes.
Yeah, I will.
any real fan of that game would have ignored the leak and just loved to play the game.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking there though. Like, do you think that with The Dark Tower being out and it about to come out, do you think like there's like a slight resurgence in Stephen King adaptations? Like usually we get like one movie a year that turns out, Stephen King originally wrote that, but now it kind of feels like this has been like all of a sudden we're getting hit with a couple of them very close together. Obviously, admittedly, Dark Tower isn't getting a good write up, so, but it might change that, but I'm still doubtful just due to the production behind that movie. From what I've heard, has been like they've been planning to remake it for years, and as I said, the guy who directed True Detective was originally going to write and direct it, and he got kicked off the project. And his statements about why and all that doesn't sound very good. So,
I mean, you never know. That's the thing. I'm excited for it. I mean, do I have that idea that it's going to be a crap film? Yeah, I do. But you know, when when there's a film that comes out, I always have that idea that something is going to happen in it that's going to make it bad. Um, I'll take Spider-Man: Homecoming for example. My main concern with that film was that it was going to be Iron Man 4.
I remember you
That
saying
they're going to show far too much of Tony Stark and Iron Man, which was going to take away from Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
hmm Yeah, yeah.
Um, but that's just something I do before going into a film. I'll see the trailers and I'll be like, okay, this is where the film is going to go wrong. And I'm so pleased when the film doesn't do exactly what I think it's going to do.
Aye.
And does something that makes it great. As I said, with it, my main concern is that it showed far too much of it and all the jump scares, and technically the ending. I'm pretty sure I've got the ending down.
I think that is a problem actually. That like you're saying, like they show too much of it itself.
Yeah,
But at the same time, that's the thing though. It in the book takes more forms than just the clown,
yeah,
and so far they've only really showed the clown. And I feel like that's the mistake it's going to make that the original miniseries made, which was it focuses so much on the clown form,
yeah.
and you're just going to miss out on like what exactly makes that creature like so fascinating in the book and all that. Because the clown form is really just a means to an end for it. It's not. It doesn't consider it to be like its ultimate form or anything.
Yeah, and don't talk about the spider.
Well, I can't really, I don't quite know how the original book ends or anything, but in the miniseries when the spider comes out, it's like there was like no build up to this at all.
Oh, I know. Like no build up whatsoever.
Like there was like so much focus on the clown that all of a sudden, it turns out it was a giant spider the whole time. It's like, really? I thought it was gonna come out as like super clown or something. No, but so that's what the new one's got to do. It's got to establish that this thing will take multiple. It's not a shape shifting clown. It's a shapeshifter that takes the form of a clown.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. It always appears as the clown and it shapeshifts its face or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that at the end when it turns into the spider, it's just like, why did the clown turn into a spider?
I know. I don't know. I mean, as I said, my main concern is that they've just showed off far too much of the film.
Yeah.
Again, I'll take this as an example for a very bad trailer. Batman versus Superman.
Oh, you mean the second trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where they showed Doomsday.
Yeah, that was a trailer that showed far too much.
And it already dropped people's expectations as well.
Exactly. Where, in my opinion, if you were going to have Doomsday in it, then fine, do whatever you want, but don't show him.
Aye. I think what also didn't help was there was also quite a large group of people that didn't want Doomsday to be in the film.
No one wanted Doomsday in him.
So when they showed him in the second trailer, that they lost money by doing that, in my opinion.
They really did. They should have fired that editor.
Yeah, because they well the thing is though, a lot of these like big studios and all that, they like they shop these like trailers out to different companies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I've heard, trailer 2 and trailer 3 were done by different companies. So obviously the guys who did trailer 3 knew what they were doing because that trailer was great, trailer 3.
Yeah.
But then the guys who did trailer 2 obviously we're just like, oh, we need to show the best scenes so people will come and see the film.
No, you don't.
And they probably asked Warner Bros., can we show Doomsday in the trailer? And they, Warner Bros., because they don't give a shit, we're just like, yeah, go ahead.
No, just that's another film where it was just bad writing.
Aye. Nah.
Look, here's the thing with people writing stuff like this for films. If you don't know the source material, then don't write about something that you think you know the source material of.
Very. I think there's some truth to that, but I feel like there's a difference between like for instance, you can understand a source material but still not necessarily like a source material, and that can still develop a good product.
Yeah.
Shining is a big example for me.
True. A big example for me is the Resident Evil series.
Alright, you mean the movies then? Or?
Yeah, the movies. That is someone that didn't understand the source material at all.
The thing is though, I've watched like the making of those films and all that, and I feel like Paul W.S. Anderson kind of gets them.
Kinda gets them isn't really a big thing.
I know, but like, I just feel like by the time he got to the third one, he just stopped caring about making adaptations. Like, I just want to make a cool looking movie.
He didn't make a cool looking movie. He made a clusterfuck of movies.
Well, no, it's just because I watched the making of the first movie, right? And when he was when they asked him to adapt it, the original like script they gave him was basically like it was the plot of the game, but with some changes here and there to like how characters develop and stuff. Like I think in the original, from what I've heard, the original script, Chris and Jill were meant to be an item in it,
Right,
which would have been weird because I mean they've never done that. You know, like Resident Evil isn't about like romantic relationships.
No, it's not whatsoever.
So when they asked him to rewrite the script, he said he was going to completely rewrite it, and he said what he was going to do for the adaptation was, he said the thing he really wanted to do was he didn't want to spoil the game for people. He essentially wanted to make a movie that takes the same concept as the game but tell a different story using that concept. And the idea being that if people want to know the story of the game, they can go play the game. And he felt he was basically supporting the game, saying that this will get more people to go out and play it, you know. And I can kind of respect that in the sense. From what I've heard, his original script was meant to be a prequel to the game. And when you watch the original movie, it's like that kind of makes sense. Because the team that go in and all that don't really do much in the mansion. They immediately go down to the basement, and they're the ones that let the zombies out. It's like that would have made, pretty much some sense, but I think they scrapped that idea, thinking nobody who, if you hadn't like played the game and you were just going to go see it just because it was out, like they thought people weren't going to understand it, so they just scrapped that idea.
No, I like that idea of the prequel. I really do. I really do like that idea of.
So yeah. See, he does have some kind of odd understanding of the game, but just the way he chooses to present it is really weird. So,
I mean, this is the thing. My problem with it was, it focused far too much on Alice, far too much on her, where it should have really focused more on the team that came to stop them.
Yeah, but the thing is though, the team, half of them die in like the first 20 minutes. It's like
most of them die in that laser room.
Yeah. Because you had the fundamentals of like the team from the original in there. It's like Alice should have kind of been the Jill. Was it Matt? I think the guy. I can't believe I remember that. The guy Matt, who he claims to be the top.
Matt, who becomes Nemesis.
Yeah. He kind of looked like Chris to me.
True.
Michelle Rodriguez's character could have sort of been like a reworking of like Rebecca Chambers. The guy who like takes over the team was kind of like Barry, and then James Purevoy's character was kind of like the Wesker, because he's the one that like betrays them at the end and tries to take the T-virus.
Yeah, true.
Like the fundamentals of those characters were there. As I said, the only real difference would be Michelle Rodriguez as kind of like the Rebecca Chambers, because Rebecca Chambers is kind of in the original kind of a boring kind of just their character, who just like Chris needs to save every now and then. Whereas they could have reworked it to make her like, no, she like actually knows what she's doing. Though when I think about it in that movie, she gets bitten like almost immediately, so she didn't really know what she was doing. So
yeah. No, just I liked the first film. The first film was one of those things where I was like, okay, I like this. It shows kind of like idea of Resident Evil.
I liked the first film when I was younger. I went back and rewatched it recently, and I'm like, I seem to remember this being a lot better.
Then I watched the second one, and I was like, God, this is just. Don't get me wrong, fantastic. They've got Nemesis in it, but it looks like a midget with big feet. Then again, it was just like, oh, Alice. And I was like, don't get me wrong, Mila Jovovich is a fantastic actress. She's a badass girl. You know, she's awesome. But again, no, just no. And then the third one came out, and it was just like, oh, the T-virus destroyed the Earth. I was like, where in the hell does this happen in the game?
Yeah, and it's such a leap between the second and the third movie as well.
Yeah.
Because like the second one ends with them like breaking Alice out and like, right, we're gonna take down Umbrella, and then it's just immediately the third one's like, oh, guess what, Umbrella won.
I know. Then the fourth one came out, and it's like, oh no, the Earth's okay.
Oh, the fourth one's the classic. So.
And it apparently had Chris Redfield in it.
Yeah, the guy from Prison Break, Wentworth Miller, is that his name?
Yeah.
He plays Chris Redfield in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Even though it's technically not Chris Redfield, but it is Chris Redfield.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Chris Redfield. Well,
then
I'll give him this. He looked like Chris Redfield, so good casting and
true.
That, but you know.
But he barely spoke. Then they brought out the fifth one, which was like when they brought in Barry and Leon.
Oh yeah, and once again, perfectly get costumes and actors who look like the characters. Don't give them anything to do though.
I know.
Like I cannot remember one thing Leon does in that movie. I can remember some of the stuff Barry does in the movie, but that's all just because it's callbacks to the way Barry is in the games.
Yeah.
Like the bit when he pulls out the revolver, you see him smiling, like the music like starts like building up, and it's like, I see what you're doing, Phil. But then it leads to, I think, yeah, and then they fucking kill him, and it's like, what was the point?
Yeah. and then the final chapter came out. No, actually quite recently in Blu-ray.
I still have not seen the final chapter.
I haven't seen it either. I've seen like parts of it.
I wanted to see it, but I heard that like the editing is like god awful in it.
Yeah, it's like a trailer.
I heard the guy who edited it is the same guy who he edited the Crank movies, Gamer, and the second Ghost Rider film.
Jesus Christ.
And if you've seen any of his films, you know what his editing is like.
Yeah.
Like there's like if you think like Michael Bay cuts to different shots in the span of like, you know, like if you think he cuts to like 10 shots in the span of like 5 seconds, just wait till you get hold of this guy, you know.
Yeah. But my biggest problem with that film is like the Red Queen ends up turning out to be an AI of young Alice.
Yeah.
Alice is actually a clone of that young Alice.
Mm-hmm.
And young Alice apparently had that disease that, you know, the person grows older within, grows older fast.
Aye.
And I was just kind of like, are you serious? For fuck's sake. And then, you know, Alice, because if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Actually, I'm going to spoil it right here. So here, a spoiler. If you don't want to go watch it before you listen to this part. Something happens and Alice becomes like the cure. And she goes out, and and zombies start freaking out, and they fall down, and that's like the beginning of the cure. But as it being like the final chapter, there's a monologue where it just kind of goes, this is just the beginning, and I'm just kind of,
I hate it when films do that, like especially if it's on the 6th film.
Yeah.
And you're already being told now this is only the beginning.
And I'm just sitting there like, are you serious? This is just the beginning. And I'm like, Anderson, stop making these films. No one wants these films.
No, just if you're gonna do a Resident Evil film, just reboot it.
Yeah, reboot it.
And I would skip the first 3 games, just immediately make a Resident Evil 4 movie. So.
No, make a Resident Evil 1 film, like of the game. Or actually, do the Rebecca and Billy game.
Oh, Resident Evil 0, yeah.
I mean, that would be interesting. I mean, maybe don't put in the giant scorpion in the train bit, but is that giant scorpion?
I can't remember if it was a scorpion or a spider. I believe it was a scorpion.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
It was an arachnid, to put it that way. So.
Yeah. Just take out the giant scorpion. But reboot the series. No one wants to see a sequel. Have more. Holy crap, she snores. Fuck's sake, one sec.
Okay.
Guys. Guys. I just tossed into her.
Alright.
No, but
you'll be able to edit that part out then. Just because I was actually hearing that in the background for a while, and I just felt like maybe that was like your computer or something overheating or something. It just started like ascending there, just like.
No,
so
I'll put a text over it. As soon as we've been recording for 36 minutes, we'll finish off talking about Resident Evil and then end it there.
Wrap up something about the Stephen King stuff as well.
Yeah,
so.
true. But with Resident Evil, they should reboot it. No, that's my opinion.
I would agree with that.
Just reboot it. But back to Stephen King. I mean, with Dark Tower, we'll see what happens with Dark Tower.
I did hear they wanted to use the film as like a pilot.
All right, okay.
And in the sequels wouldn't be movies; they'd be a TV show.
No, no.
Considering how long the books are, a TV show might not be a terrible idea, but starting off with a film is a bad idea. Yeah. They should have just went straight for the TV show.
Exactly, because if they went with a TV show, then they have those 7 books.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine Game of Thrones. That's doing fantastic. Imagine having 7 books of the Dark Tower and having that.
Aye.
I would have preferred that, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it would have meant like people would be able to keep track of it with the episodic format a lot easier.
Exactly. And it, as I said, we only have a month left. We'll soon see what it's like.
Yeah, I think we can agree you're looking more forward to it than I am. So
I am. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it, because there was a lot of problems with the miniseries I didn't like. But
I also have mixed opinions on the miniseries.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love watching the miniseries. One of the best things I've ever watched.
Really? Or
yeah, I mean, one of the best things. Don't get me wrong. I mean, my most favorite TV shows, my most favorite films. I do have a lot of problems with it, but hell, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite films is Primal Species, and that movie is terrible, but the film is fantastic.
I think with me the original series is that like I think it's like a good Halloween movie, but at the same time, my mixed feelings on it is that I love the first half. I could not stand the second half of it. I'm actually at the point where like I will watch the first half, but then I'll watch the second half even though it's like only one half of a story. Yeah. I actually think the kids are better actors than the adults.
Oh, they are.
It's like it's ridiculous in that, So and obviously Tim Curry gets more screen time in the first half as well. So
yeah, true. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because it's mostly going to be, well, actually, it's going to be about the kids.
So
and the sequel, if the first film makes its money back, then they will make a sequel which is going to be about the adults.
I kind of get the feeling they might have already filmed some of the sequel, you know, because
they have.
They want to film it back to back. Yeah.
They have.
A lot of films are doing that because they're so like sure the first one's going to be really successful. So
well, not with this one. Apparently, the director filmed some of the scenes because they wanted it to be added into this one, but it was too expensive.
All right.
So they cut it, and they're going to keep it just in case they do make a sequel.
All right. Okay.
Which does make quite good sense. No point refilming something or filming something when you've already filmed it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, here's a question to go on. Are there any Stephen King books that have not been adapted that you would like to see adapted into a film, or are there any ones that have been adapted but you think need a remake or an update?
Under the Dome.
All right. Didn't they only make a TV show out of that though? Or...
Yeah, but the TV show was terrible.
Right. Okay. I never watched it, so.
The book is fantastic. Just, I remember reading the first part, and I was kind of like, oh, isn't this meant to be like something terrible happens? Like it's meant because I knew it was going to be like, apparently it's like really violent and bloody. And when I first opened it up and I read the first few lines, I was like, this just seems like a very nice town. What's going on? And then it just kind of like, you see, I think it's the dog just gets squished.
Aye.
And it goes into detail about it. And the plane that the woman and the pilot's in just explodes. And you see like a piece of arm falling onto the ground. I mean, I wouldn't mind like seeing an 18 plus Under the Dome.
That would be quite interesting.
I mean, I doubt they're going to put like animals being killed in it, but
Yeah.
But that's what the book is, about. How at the end the dog starves. The dog dies at the end.
Yeah, that's horrible. So, but yeah, again, it is Stephen King though. So,
I mean, you know what? Actually, one I'm looking forward to is the Mist TV series.
All right, they're making a TV series out of the Mist, or
yeah.
But how do you top perfection though? That's my concern if they're doing that, is how do you top a movie that I don't care what anybody says, the Mist movie is perfect.
Yeah, I like the ending.
Yeah, the ending will I will never spoil the ending, but I'll just say this. If you'd ever decide to watch The Mist, get ready to be fucked for life.
Don't expect a happy ending.
Like that film shows no remorse whatsoever.
No, it doesn't.
But at the same time, it might be the greatest ending to a film of all time.
Yes, very true.
And this is coming from the same guy who also thinks Usual Suspects has an amazing ending. Like The Mist has a better ending than The Usual Suspects. So.
No, I mean, but that's my kind of thing. I wouldn't mind seeing it Under the Dome, 18-year-old movie.
That wouldn't be bad, I guess. I think for me, the one that still hasn't been adapted, but I'd like to see adapted, it's one of his shorter books, so it would be very easy to adapt it. It's one of my like personal favorites, but it's not really famous. It's called The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon.
Yes, I remember. Yes, I know the title.
I absolutely love that one. It's about like a girl who goes on a hiking trip with her mother and brother because the mother has just recently been divorced from the father, and this is the mother's attempt to like get the kids like away from all and all that, but she like goes off the path, and she to go to the toilet, and then when she like tries to find the path again, she can't find it, even though she like swears that she's like, right, I'll run to the right, and then I'll immediately just like walk backwards and I'll find the path again, but she can never find the path, and she gets lost in the woods, and she starts to like imagine something is like following her. This like evil wasp faced creature.
All right, okay.
But the book is fantastic though. My only problem with it is that the book may be a bit dated, because she has like a bag with her of like the things she brought with her, and what she has with her is a Walkman and a Game Boy. And so my problem is, if they adapted it for today, she would totally just have a goddamn smartphone.
That's very true.
And they'll do an entire thing where she's like listening to music on her smartphone, or she's like wanting to tweet but she can't because there's no signal out in the woods. And
Yeah, she'll become a millennial.
yeah, I don't want to see that version of that book, because the point of the title, and that's the other reason it's dated as well, is because it's called The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon because she listens to the radio on her Walkman as like a way to stay sane, and her favorite baseball player is Tom Gordon. So it's about like the courage that like baseball player has like brought to her is what keeps her alive throughout the entire book.
I mean,
so obviously I don't think Tom Gordon plays anymore, so I don't know how you would adapt it. So
I mean, it would be interesting. You know, fine. Yes, make it modern, but don't do the whole smartphone thing. Do it that this girl is trying to get away for a while. So she leaves her smartphone. She takes a Walkman with her. So that's like in a kind of interesting way that she has a Walkman that she's just trying to get away from.
I guess the other way to do it is just do a retro film, you know.
True.
Those are popular now, but you know.
But will they do a retro film?
Knowing the current state of Hollywood, they wouldn't do a retro film. So
yeah.
Anyway, I think. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens in the next few years and what's going to be adapted and what's going to be remade and what's going to be, coming out.
I think we can agree that Stephen King adaptations will never end. So.
No, they never will. never will.
I think that's a good note to leave everything on then. So.
Yes, Stephen King books will never end. He'll just continue making them about lamps. No, don't get me wrong. Stephen King's fantastic.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite authors. So,
but I mean, we'll see what happens with It the Clown, and if they ever make a sequel to The Dark Tower. I doubt it, but
yeah, I hear it's not doing well. So
no. But again, if you like this episode, give it a like, share it with all your friends. Bitch about how you don't like Stephen King, or get excited for it when it comes out in September.
Yeah. Anyway, and don't forget, join us in the next episode where we'll probably talk about wrestling again, because that's a topic that we hope you like,
Yeah, wrestling. No, but I think wrestling will be the next episode, seeing as SummerSlam's on Sunday. Yeah,
can't wait to see Jinder Mahal face Shinsuke Nakamura. That's going to be great, so...
I can't wait for it. It's going to be a terrible pay-per-view.
No, I'm actually excited to see what those two can do. So,
same. But again, we'll talk about that in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
Thanks
for listening. So.
Thanks, guys.